Welcome back, fellow travelers and thrifty wanderers. Today, I am going to take you on a journey through 4 incredible European vacation destinations you probably have not heard of. You will see why these locations are worthy destinations and learn a few things to keep in mind if you plan to visit. Before we delve into the video, can I ask you to please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so? Thank you. First up is the medieval town of Albarracin, near the city of Teruel in eastern Spain. Travelers to this quaint town describe their first impression as a feeling akin to stepping into a fairy tale. This is certainly no surprise because Albarracin is full of pink-hued buildings with terracotta rooftops and narrow cobblestone streets. If you're flying in, the nearest airports would be Valencia Airport, roughly a 2-hour drive away. Car rental in Valencia is available from €15 per day. Other option is to travel in a town car, a private chauffeur-style airport transfer service. There are train and bus services from the airport through Valencia and Teruel, although I wouldn't recommend these as travel time can be quite long, at least 3 hours by train and 3.5 hours by bus. Travel time by these means can be a lot longer if you factor in delays. Once you arrive, I recommend exploring the town on foot. You can't miss the Santa Maria Cathedral, not only because of its imposing size and prominent position, but also for its stunning beauty. For some of the best valley views, the short climb up the Andador Tower is well worth the small amount of exercise. It's quite pleasant to walk around the Murallas de Albarracin or town walls, especially at sunset when the sky turns pink and gold. For foodies, you can enjoy dishes like jamón de Teruel and migas, a gastronomic delight made from fried breadcrumbs stirred up with garlic and chorizo. You can get an average simple meal at a price range of 8 to €15, but a rich dinner with wine will set you back at least €20. If you plan an overnight stay, there is sufficient accommodation options to choose from. Guest houses cost from 30 to €50 per night, mid-range hotels from 60 to €100 per night, and rural cottages from 80 to €120 per night depending on the season. Albarracin has just over 1,000 residents, so expect cozy small-town vibes where it really does feel like everyone knows one another's name. Perhaps the best thing about visiting is a chance to relax and experience medieval Spain with comparatively smaller tourist crowds. Just be prepared for uneven terrain if it isn't your favorite thing, and also check restaurant schedules as dining out can be quite low-key, especially on weekdays. If you're wondering when best to visit, I'd recommend spring and early fall because of milder weather in these periods. And next is the city of Gjirokastra in southern Albania. Gjirokastra is often called the City of Stone due to the fantastic Ottoman-style houses, all boasting stone roofs. The nearest airport is Tirana International Airport, which is about a 3-hour drive away. Taxi from the airport will cost between €120 to €130, but you can rent a car for only about €29 daily. There is also the public transport option, which costs €12. While taxis and car hire can be booked online, be aware that you can only pay for bus fares by cash at bus terminals. Once you do finally get to Gjirokastra, the best way around is on foot, especially in the Old Town area. I recommend a visit to the Gjirokastra Fortress, which is among the largest in the Balkans and has a museum of Albanian history. Skanduli and Zakat houses are also worth visiting for a showcase of how affluent Ottoman families lived centuries ago. If you love a bit of history or literature, then a visit to Ismail Kadare's house, the birthplace of Ismail Kadare, who is one of the most important Albanian writers, is a must. If you find yourself in Gjirokastra during the National Folklore Festival, which happens every 5 years at the fortress, you'll witness a spectacular celebration of Albanian music, dance, and costumes. Local cuisine includes dishes such as bajrak, a flaky pastry usually filled with either spinach or cheese, and tave kosi, a lamb and yogurt dish that is baked to perfection. Meals are generally priced at 5 to €10. You can book mid-range hotel rooms for between €30 and €50, with boutique most options within the range of €60 to €80 per night. Guest houses are cheaper within the €15 to €25 bracket. Gjirokastra's population is around 20,000, so you still get a small-town vibe without missing out on some modern comforts. When interacting with locals, it's useful to bear in mind that English isn't widely spoken, but a warm smile and a falaminderit, meaning thank you, can go a long way. The city is warmest during July and August, with temperatures topping 33 degrees Celsius or 91 degrees Fahrenheit. Early spring, between May and June, and early fall are the best times to visit as the weather is more pleasant. Gjirokastre can be an affordable vacation destination, but is certainly not for everyone. The city's streets are paved with smooth stones, which become a slip hazard when it rains. The sloped, polished surfaces can be tricky to navigate in less than ideal weather, so it's advisable to wear shoes with good traction. Again, English isn't widely spoken, so a few words of Albanian can make a lot of difference to your experience. Getting to Gjirokastre can be, well, somewhat challenging. Tirana, the closest transportation hub, is at least 3-hour drive away. This distance means a steep cost to get to the city from Tirana, especially by taxi. Although there are regular buses, they might not be available at late hours or run very frequently. Lastly, because Gjirokastre is still growing its tourism infrastructure, you might not find the same range of high-end accommodations or dining options available in larger European cities. However, many travelers feel that this relatively low-key vibe and authentic local culture are precisely what make Gjirokastre so special. We now head to the Adriatic coast of Montenegro. If you love a quiet sea destination with dramatic bay views, then Kotor is the place for you. You can arrive by flight to Tivat Airport. Located only 8 kilometers away, the fastest way to get to Kotor from the airport is by taxi. It takes only about 8 minutes and costs 4 to 6 euros. Once you arrive in Kotor, you'll discover that the old town is a pedestrian-only zone, which is great if you dislike dodging cars in narrow streets. While there, visit the Cathedral of St. Tryphon. The cathedral building is a prominent feature in Kotor, with its towering twin towers designed in the Romanesque style. There is also the Maritime Museum, where you can learn about the city's naval history. One of the most exhilarating activities is the climb to the San Giovanni Fortress. After scaling its 1,300 steps, you are rewarded with a truly impressive panoramic views of the bay. However, don't settle for this. Treat yourself with a delightful meal in any of Kotor's many restaurants. Seafood is a staple of local cuisine, and you'll find plenty of options like grilled calamari and black risotto. Meals by the water generally cost between 10 and 20 euros, with upscale dinners venturing into the 30 euro range if you add a glass, or maybe a bottle, of local wine. For a place to stay after an eventful day exploring Kotor's many attractions and sampling its mouth-watering dishes, there is plenty of options. Accommodation ranges from budget hostels at about 15 to 25 euros to mid-range hotels or apartments in the 40 to 70 euro bracket. High-end resorts can exceed 100 euros per night. Kotor's population of roughly 13,000 means it's small enough to feel cozy, but lively enough to keep you entertained. Regarding the best seasons to visit, late spring, around May to early June, and early fall, September to October, are preferable. Summer can be extremely busy when cruise ships bring crowds who fill the tight medieval streets. Also, prices for accommodations and dining tend to spike. However, in the spring and fall, temperatures are comfortable and you'll avoid the largest tourist waves. As we have seen, there's a lot going for Kotor, and it is a great destination. But alas, it's not all perfect. One of the biggest issues is overcrowding during the high season, especially in the summer, when cruise ships dock and hundreds of day trippers fill the old town. The streets are narrow and small to begin with, so the influx of visitors can make it feel packed and even claustrophobic. Prices for accommodations, tours, and dining also tend to spike around this time, meaning you might pay more than you would during the quieter shoulder seasons. Piran, Slovenia. For more northern Adriatic experience, head to Piran in Slovenia. Piran is a coastal town that effortlessly combines Venetian-inspired architecture with a breezy Mediterranean ambiance. From the Ljubljana airport, Piran is only an hour and a half away by car. It is convenient to book an airport transfer service from 110 euros or simply rent a car for less. There are public bus transit options from 7 euros, but these are not direct and take longer, approximately 2.5 hours. You can drive from Italy or Croatia along highways that are well signposted and easy to navigate. Once in Piran, you'll find that cars are largely forbidden from many parts of the old town, which makes wandering its narrow alleys a joy. A good place to start exploring is Tartini Square, named after the renowned violinist Giuseppe Tartini. The town's vibrant facades, lively street performers, and relaxing cafes set a welcoming tone. If you head uphill to the Church of St. George, you'll be rewarded with a dazzling vista of Piran's red rooftops against the sparkling Adriatic Sea. You can also drop by the Venetian House and Tartini House to appreciate the distinctive architecture tracing back to Piran's days under the Venetian Republic. With the sea at your feet, you'll want to sample local seafood delights such as mussels, calamari, and fresh-caught fish, ideally paired with a crisp Slovenian white wine. Expect to pay around 10 to 18 euros for a straightforward meal, while a more upscale experience can push the bill closer to 25 or 30. Guest houses and budget hotels in Piran start at roughly 30 to 50 euros per night, while mid-range hotels sit between 60 and 90. Top-end boutique waterfront rooms exceed 100 euros for those seeking a more luxurious stay with incredible views. Piran has a population of only about 4,000 people, so you won't be battling endless crowds, yet there's still a steady, vibrant energy thanks to a steady trickle of visitors. At summer peak seasons, however, popular attractions in the city can be crowded. Be aware that parking can be limited, meaning there is a good chance you would have to park your car a good distance from the main attractions. While there are dining options for a range of budgets, Piran's small size means there may not be as many restaurants or cafes as you'd find in larger coastal cities. So peak meal times in the summer can feel busy and even require a reservation if you want to avoid a wait. Additionally, because Piran sits on a peninsula with a historic layout, some streets and alleys can be narrow and steep. This could be challenging for visitors with limited mobility. If you plan on traveling during the warm summer months, don't forget your sunscreen because the Mediterranean sun can be deceptively strong. If you can, visit in late spring or early autumn, as you get some of the best weather for exploring Piran without sweltering heat or cold toes. This is where I end today's video. Hope I have provided useful information that might help you in planning your next vacation trip. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love for you to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Let me know in the comments which, if any, of these 4 destinations tempts you the most. Thanks for watching, and see you again in the next one.